something came early, and I thought you guys might be interested in it. As I ordered the Spellbinders, let me see what it's actually called, but I would call it a mystery box. But we shall see what it is. The super surprise box that came out a couple days ago. It says it includes a card making kit, dies, stamps, and more. But doesn't talk about glimmer, which makes me happy because I don't have a glimmer machine, and it would be kind of, wasted on me. And like, it's a pretty big box, and it feels fairly heavy, so I'll say I am pretty optimistic, and we will see if I remain optimistic, but I think this one is going to be pretty good, assuming that there's not, like, too many duplicates of things that I might already have. So let's just see if we can't rip into the tape, and we'll do this from the bottom. See, at the bottom we have our card making kit. So this looks like a traditional style card making kit. I'm not going to look at the name on it initially. And so maybe they're clearing out their inventory since they did the reformulation. Not looking at this, I'd say there's a couple. I'd like a kit I don't have. I also would like they did an Under the Sea one that was really cool and had some pretty epic dies. But let's see what we get. Hopefully not a duplicate, or if it's a duplicate, it's a duplicate I really like. And oh wow, Under the Sea. This was the one I was most hoping for. There was also a butterfly one that looked pretty cool, but this one is one I missed out on, but also, like, it's been listed at, like, I don't know, $60, and they haven't really ever put it on sale, so, what do we got? We got our envelopes and such, but we can envelopes and adhesive. The coolest thing about this is really the dies. But let's take a look at all the things, because I'm a big fan of the Spellbinders kit, as you guys know. And this one has a color palette I really like. A lot of teals. And this is an interesting one. Like, they've done this in a couple pads, and I haven't seen it recently. But, obviously you could sort of just, because this is 6 inches, you could cut this to like 4 by 5 1/4 and basically have a whole panel, or a slightly smaller one. But you'd have basically these focal images like ready to go. Yeah, this is really good. My parents actually just got back from Florida, so some of these beachy colors are pretty neat. And it's interesting, like this one has a couple of these, and these like foil scales. Very cool. The die, I'll spoil it and say the die on this one is one of their better dies. We have a lot of ephemera, sort of I guess I should say the size pack I was used to with these kits. I think their new kits, I think, actually have more. But there's a lot of stuff here. I believe there's also unicorns there's some unicorn things in here as well. I'm not quite sure how. And then there's stuff like these dolphins, which are really cool. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of it. If you're really interested in the details on those pieces, let me know. I'm more than happy to do a breakdown. These are glitter-infused sort of acrylic gems. Or like they're similar to the Santa Lane ones, essentially, only in like more mermaidy colors. You get some letters. I'm glad they're gold. I still wasn't thrilled that the Time Offline ones were not. Got some pretty neat magic, some celestial things, some great sentiment bits and pieces. I like that the new kits actually come with more stickers. I always feel like the flat stickers are an awesome win, but this one also comes with sparkle, magic, stardust, unicorns, fairies, all the things. And then come the dies, which, like in here, don't look. This is the mermaid die that's really neat. And then it comes with shells and other things. It's easier to see if you actually look at the kit insert. So you can see some of these are pieces that are off the pattern paper, like that seahorse. But you can see they give you sort of a guide on how to do the mermaids as well. And there's a lot to this one in addition to the mermaid. There's a lot of like sea things, which I didn't have, which was kind of the reason I liked it, because a lot of these little dies. Oh, and we have our shimmer gold. And essentially a very blue, pink, purple kind of color palette. Which is kind of funny, because we just got done with a Valentine's Day card series that was very blue, pink, and purple. So I'll say this is pretty much a win to me, as it's a kit I wanted, and it hasn't been under $60 that I've seen. Like they've just always been selling it for, retail essentially. So probably a win from the kit alone was, I don't know if I'd say it's worth $60, but Spellbinders was selling it for $60. I still feel like the $40 they were charging people for a lot of these was really kind of what the real price point on them was. But anywho, let's digress. There we go. And we don't really need the thing the paper comes in. So it came with other stuff. And let's see what the other stuff was. Quite a bit of other stuff, actually. So we have some big letters. These are sort of matte and like fun foamy. I don't know if it says anything about them. Big alphabet from Fun Stamper's Journey. About a pretty big size for a card. I mean, they'd be potentially more for other things, or like a monogram maybe. They're nice dimensionals. I could see maybe using them as like a more iconic piece on a card. We have little bows, which is neat. I don't really use bows that much, but it's nice to have ones that are just like ready to go. And it looks like these are on a backing, so they probably have adhesive on them already. So those I'll definitely use. We have Spellbinders Clear Stamps Mini Greetings. This one's interesting because you have like a flamingo and a bird and a plant. This plant would actually be really nice. The plant and the truck, and some of these would actually be pretty cool for silhouette stamping. Lucky to know you. But yeah, it's a mini greeting seems nice. Wish you were here. I enjoyed the Pink Floyd reference, but that to me would be maybe a slightly weird card to send to someone. And then moving on, we have a slimline or mini slimline. It feels like a full slimline, although obviously you could do other sizes in here too. Then carved tile. This would be neat. I saw at my craft convention this weekend, there's a neat technique where you would use either, I forget, I want to say it's a Ranger Ink product, but it might be Tonic Studios. They're sort of like light metallic glazing. I'm spacing on what it's actually called, but if anyone's interested, I can dig it up and let you know. But anyway, where you basically like take something like this and do it in a dark color, and then you just sort of like highlight the design a bit. You could do exactly the same thing with any kind of mica paste, like the new Simon Hurley Lunar paste. I guess it's not new anymore, but any of those kinds of things. Then we also have a slimline or mini slimline cutting die. Let's see. Yeah, mini slimline A. So these are basically all layer dies for doing mini slimlines, which I rarely do, but I sometimes get tortured into it by Craft Roulette. So, there's that. Sunday Hugs cutting dies. Looks like some very traditional, like Spellbinders florals, of which we love. And Sending Hugs, not Sunday Hugs. Oh my. And I am completely wrong. These are like no florals here, really, but they're just the actual word dies. So it does have sending hugs and congrats and some other ones. So neat. I always am a fan of the word dies. These are actually more delicate than most of the word dies I have, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. This is Christmas cactus of yeah, which is neat because my dad actually grows these. So this is actually something I would use because it's sort of a, I don't know, it's not a flower you see. I guess it's not just a flower, but it's not a plant you see all that often. My grandmother had a massive collection of them, and that's why my dad has a bunch. We have some additional pattern paper. The Cheerful Occasions pattern pack. A lot of blues and yellows and pinks. I will get mileage out of this as well. And then something. I am not sure. The Kathy Holden Flea Market Finds. Oh, I think I saw this and didn't. I think this came out around the holidays, but it's not specifically holiday themed. But it's basically a big sticker pack that has a lot of, sort of vintagey signs. Which is nice to have because I don't really like collage at all, and occasionally it comes up with craft challenges. So, I mean, it's neat to have something like this. So, not totally my style, but something I'll definitely get a lot of use out of next time, like, I need to do something that's somewhat vintage themed. So, I don't know. I think this is a big win. I think the only thing I would say that I would not have purchased for myself is probably maybe the foam letters or these bows. Because I would like to have bows in my collection, but I don't know that I would have picked these up. I probably would have done something like pick up the cat scrappiness die that just makes paper bows pretty easily. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be neat to try this out on an actual slimline because they never make them. But have lots of envelopes for them because they're just standard legal envelopes. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out if we want to do something with this. Certainly could use it as a monogram for something. Yeah, I'm curious what its intended use is. But anyway, I think big win on the Spellbinders box. So if you're interested in any of these specific products or want me to do a project with them, just let me know because I'd be more than happy to do so.